What's up, guys? Good to see you guys. Hope you're well. Yeah, I just want to hop on here real quick and talk about two things I feel the Lord is doing in this season. In 1 Corinthians chapter 3, it says, you are God's field, you are God's building. Right? So there's these two pictures that Paul has given us, but I want to be particular about the field that the Lord is tending to in this season. And I believe he's doing two things with fields in this season. One, there are fields in your life, in our lives, that God is tending to. He's pruning branches. He's refining things really in these fields that we've cultivated ground already. There's areas in your life that you've been faithful, that you've been stewarding, that you've been processing with the Lord. Maybe you've been already in years of faithfulness in what the Lord is doing. He's pruning the fruitfulness of your labor in the field so that it would bear more fruit. You know, in John chapter 15, it talks about how Jesus is the vine dresser. He is the vine, and the Father's the vine dresser, and how he prunes the vines to bear more fruit. So one thing that the Lord is doing in your field, I believe, in this season is that he's allowing certain things to be trimmed and clipped off so that you would be greater and more dependent on the branch himself, which is Jesus. He is the branch. And in this season of pruning, the most important thing, the safest place is to remember that you are there because of the vine, because of Jesus. He has planted you. He has given you wisdom to be planted. He's allowed you to cultivate the ground you are already in. And with that, you're going to be fruitful as you continue to abide in the vine, as you continue to remain in his presence and receive the nutrition that comes from Jesus alone. Jesus alone is the reason why you are planted and bearing fruit. And he's pruning so that you would bear more fruit. And the second thing I believe that the Lord is doing in the fields in this season is actually he's allowing you to come into new fields. There are new territories that the Lord is inviting you into to begin to sow and to break up the fallow. Well, first break up the fallow ground and then to sow in righteousness. I believe that there's areas in your heart, in your life, in your mind, in your thought life, in your reality that are barren. They haven't been touched. You know, there's areas I believe that the Lord's going to be inviting you to go to that are unfamiliar and that you haven't processed much at all in. And these are areas maybe of revelation, of a lifestyle, a life rhythm, certain messages, certain areas that you're just like, man, I don't even know how to tend this ground yet. And the invitation is come and plow the field with Jesus. Come and allow this territory to be plowed up and really let the Lord begin to sow in righteousness. Let him begin to sow truths that will establish this field as a fruitful field that will bear much fruit. This is God's goal in our lives, that we would bear much fruit unto his glory. And this is why he says ask, right? When Jesus tells his disciples to ask, he says ask so that my Father in heaven would be glorified. So part of the invitation into the new field is an invitation to ask for the more to be given so that the seeds of God could be planted. That's the word of God. God's going to be speaking directly to you about these fields, about this field, about this certain area. And as you sow in, as you begin to dream with God, as you begin to believe and step out in faith in these areas, you are going to see how it's going to begin to flourish and your heart is going to come to life. And one of the beautiful things about new fields is that it will produce new life in you. It will begin to allow you to flourish in a new way, in a new maturity, in a new humility even, because it says receive with meekness the implanted word of God, right, in James chapter 1. And so when we receive the word with meekness, we can bear fruit for the King. And so I encourage you two things in the fields this season. Let him prune you and let him plant you. Let him lead you to new fields and new territory so that you would bear much fruit and experience new and abundant life. Jesus came to give us life and life more abundantly. And I pray over you today, that you would experience the abundant life found in communion with Jesus in a sweeter way today. Thanks for joining, guys. I think it's been good. It's been pretty good. I'll catch you in the next vid. Peace.